Good afternoon, class. In today's video, what I'd like to do is to go over part 3 of my de-icing the freezer adventures. Now, honestly, I didn't expect to have to do this de-icing adventure so soon, but the thing is, on this side of the refrigerator, or the refrigerator side of this appliance, it got iced over, so I needed to de-ice this side. So after that, usually what happens is that some of the hot water that I use to de-ice this side leaks into the freezer side. So thought what I do is make an adventure out of it, open up this freezer and see what we've got. Let's see if we can see any science from this one. And this time I'll focus again on more technique instead of the physics of it, because I've gone over that in my first video, like the one over here. All right, let's see what we got. All right, so as you can see, there is a whole bunch of ice over here, and from the looks of it, it looks like a really solid chunk. So we definitely got a lot of water going into this. So let's break it apart and see what we got. Oh, do you see that? There's actually some bubbles forming. What this tells me is that there's actually water underneath this surface part of the ice, which makes this layer very thin, and there's some water that hasn't frozen just yet. But good, we'll get to that in a second. We'll see what happens when that occurs. Oh, what do you know, guys? Check that out. I got a really big chunk right there. Great stuff. And let's see if I can just use use the chisel to try to pry this up, and oh, look what I got. Nice huge chunk of solid ice from there. And let's see, does this one come off? Oh, very nice. Now, one thing I do want to point out, the reason why I was able to pop that off so easily like so was because if you can kind of see, there's this little gap over here. And so this gap allowed me to get my screwdriver underneath it and pop it off. So now we got very little bits to clean up. Fairly easy chunks to clean up. And very good. In fact, we can probably get this one too, probably. Oh, no. Guess I'll need the hammer for this one. Okay, then we'll clean this part up. So, as you can see, that went extremely well. However, as you might also be able to see, there's another problem. All of this extra water that's in here that didn't freeze, so I couldn't actually break it up and throw it in the sink. So it's time to soak that up with my towel. Well, that was certainly an adventure. So finished de-icing the freezer in this case. One of the things that I wanted to do was to go over one of the lessons that I took from just de-icing the freezer. Not so much from the physics side of it, but from more of an environmental side, because it reminded me of a situation in nature. One that, to be fair, here in Hawaii, we don't have to deal with that much, except on like Mauna Loa or on like Haleakala. But it does have to do with frozen lakes and ponds, where you have to worry, especially for those of you who want to go ice skating. If you just go onto a pond and you don't test the thickness of the ice, you might fall through, and that would be very, very dangerous. So that's why that was a good reminder. Yes, we got some great sheets of ice coming off. It was a great way to crack open and break apart the ice. Very easy to clean up, as you could see. However, there was water underneath, and you have to be careful about that, because that water is enough to cause your body to go into a state of shock if you fall through. So you always want to make sure, really, so what the lesson is that whenever you go onto those kinds of places where you're putting your trust in the laws of physics to keep you safe, you do want to check that your environment is one that is actually safe. For example, you go onto a frozen pond, don't just start skating. Actually check to see the thickness of the ice to make sure that it is safe for you to be there and not fall through and get into a lot of, be in a very dangerous situation. So I thought I'd point that out, give you a little bit of a reminder. Even from something as mundane as de-icing a freezer, you can still learn lessons about how to stay safe even in the real world, because physics is everywhere. So study hard, and I'll see you in the next video.